Welcome to Rice TVX. On today's Rice Report, we're going to be talking about the Great Reset. This is an introduction and World Economic Forum explained. This is going to be a multiple part series. If you're watching this on replay, I would say fast forward to about the 3.5 minute mark. We're going to go ahead and get everything started for you. Before we begin, a few quick messages from the sponsors of Rice TVX. You can always find information in the video description for BitSwap DEX, for Monarch, and for Presearch.
BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
Make sure you are subscribed. We are live streaming on both Rice TVX and on Rice TVX2. Rice TVX2 is the backup channel. Make sure you are subscribed to both channels. Links are in the video description depending on where you're watching. Before we get into it, visit ricetvx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new Rice TVX content. You will also find my various social media links and more. Make sure you're subscribed to Rice TVX and Rice TVX2, the backup channel. Both can be found on YouTube, and hit the notification bell to get alerted for new videos. You can also find Rice TVX on Odyssey and Library, where I have a full catalog of my videos, post up extra content, and share other appearances. And you can also find Rice TVX on BitChute. To support Rice TVX directly, you can contribute or send tips to PayPal, to Cash App, or cryptocurrencies via my Cointree link in the video description. Everything is appreciated. Another way to support what I do is by joining my Patreon channel, where you will get early access to some of my videos, exclusive content, and more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in for today's live stream, today's Rice Report, part 1 of the Great Reset. Before we begin, make sure you are taking advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange. You can get a free ½ ounce of silver, and here's how you can do so. Get your free ½ ounce of silver. Take full advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange in 5 easy steps. 1. Visit moneymetals.com. 2. Be a first-time buyer. 3. Purchase a minimum of $100. 4. Use the promo code RICE. 5. Get a free ½ ounce of silver, and it's an additional way to support the channel. All right, once again, I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me go ahead and get everything situated for today's live stream before we officially begin with today's information. Real quick, I do want to let people know that there are lots of imposter accounts pretending to be not only myself, but other content creators as well. So be sure to beware of imposter accounts. On Telegram, there is a Rice TVV. I'm at Rice TVX. As you can see right here on my name, it says at Rice TVX. You can also go to ricetvx.com and confirm my social media accounts. But I will not email you or DM you regarding anything about sending me crypto or money or participating in any kind of investment or pyramid scheme. Please report these fake accounts. It's very, very, very important, not only for myself, but for other content creators, because ultimately these people are maliciously trying to harm others using people's good reputations, and that sucks. There's not much more I can do other than say in videos and on social media to watch out and beware of imposter accounts. Now, after I'm done with the video, I will come to the live stream. I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm going to wait to the end of the video to come to the live chat. And I also want to let people know that complain about the ads, especially on the live streams. So I do all my advertisements and everything at the very beginning of the videos. I don't try to interrupt the videos with any ad placement. As a channel, as a YouTuber, as a full-time journalist, content creator, I've got to be able to support myself, my family, and what I am doing. And this gives me those abilities. So the sponsors for Rice TVX, the information that I share, it also gives time for everybody to get situated in the live stream, because YouTube does not always notify people when I'm going live or when a videos come out. So I do suggest to people to periodically unsubscribe and resubscribe both to Rice TVX and Rice TVX2. If you're not getting the notifications, make sure you turn the notification bell off and then turn it back on. Hopefully that'll help and that'll alleviate some things. Make sure you're signing up for my mailing list at ricecrypto.crypto so you can stay updated with all things Rice. I'm sending those out on the weekends. I sent this week's out late, but it did get out. So I appreciate everybody who has signed up for the mailing list. Thank you so much. That way you can stay up to date with all things Rice. Now, again, this video is going to be done in multiple parts. I'm doing it to make it easily digestible. And then what I may do is take information and do a concise video after I'm done doing the multiple parts. May end up doing a little small documentary, possibly. I am going to be bringing some people on to the team here at Rice TVX. So we're going to be discussing all sorts of different possibilities of things that we can do to improve the content coming in the future. So I'm definitely personally looking forward to that myself. All right, now, what I want to let people also know is that this video, this particular part, what is the World Economic Forum? Explaining what it is, giving an introduction to the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and the Great Reset, the Great Narrative, the Fourth Industrial Revolution. I'm trying to keep this as fact-based as possible. So keep that in mind. Coming from this from a journalist reporter perspective, to try to give people just some insight as to what the World Economic Forum is. Again, this will be done in multiple parts. So today we're going to be doing the introduction and explaining the World Economic Forum. On part 2, I believe I'm going to be explaining in more detail about the Great Reset and what that agenda is all about. In part 3, I think I'm going to go ahead and talk about Klaus Schwab, and I may talk about some other members of the alumni that were a part or are a part of the World Economic Forum. And depending, either part 4, maybe part 5, I will add some speculation and kind of get the journalism part over with and kind of get a little bit more into think tanking, because this video is not coming from a conspiracy perspective. There's a lot of speculation as to what the World Economic Forum is, what the Great Reset agenda is, and all the information that I'm going to be talking about is going to be linked in the video description. And I'm actually going to be pretty much using primary resources from the World Economic Forum, from their websites, and also from Wikipedia. Now, Wikipedia is not always the best source to use, but in this particular case, for trying to explain, summarize what the World Economic Forum is, it definitely helps 100%. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a quick screen share. We are at the World Economic Forum website, which is weforum.org. That's worldeconomicforum.org. You can join their site if you like. I am not currently signed up and don't have any plans on joining the World Economic Forum. But the website does have a lot of information in regards to a lot of topics. You can see that they have advanced manufacturing, production, agriculture, blockchain, circular economy, cities and urbanization, diversity and inclusion, economic progress, emerging technologies, energy, financial and monetary systems, health and healthcare, mobility, the digital economy, the ocean, trade and investment. So these things cover pretty much most everything that people need or want to survive. Also, artificial intelligence, climate change, cybersecurity, education, skills and learning, and workforce and employment. So there is a lot of information. I will say that the website is very organized, considering how much money flows through this forum and who's involved. It definitely makes sense that this would be kind of a state-of-the-art website with very good information so that people can learn more about what the World Economic Forum is and what their agendas are. So they have at the very bottom of the website, they have their mission, their impact, leader and governance, their partners, sustainability, history, careers, and contact us. We're going to go ahead real quick and talk about their mission. So Klaus Schwab is the main individual behind the creation of the World Economic Forum, and that took place in 1971. If I go real quick to Wikipedia, you will see that when the World Economic Forum first formed, it was originally called, it had a different name. Let me see if I can scroll down here. It was originally called the European Management Forum. I knew it was European Forum. I just couldn't remember the middle word. So it was formed in 1971 by Klaus Schwab, who was a business professor at the University of Geneva, and was first named the European Management Forum, and it changed its name to the World Economic Forum in 1987. So this is where I say that Wikipedia has a lot of useful information. The World Economic Forum is an international non-governmental and lobbying organization. It's non-governmental and it's a lobbying organization. It's based in Cologne, Canton of Geneva, Switzerland, and was founded on 24th of January 1971 by German engineer and economist Klaus Schwab, who we will be talking about more in another part of this series. The foundation, which was mostly founded by its 1,000 member companies, typically global enterprises with more than $5 billion in turnover, as well as public subsidies, views its own mission as improving the state of the world by engaging business, political, academic, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas. And the World Economic Forum is mostly known for its annual meetings at the end of January in Davos, a mountain resort in the Eastern Alps region of Switzerland. This meeting brings together some 3,000 paying members and selected participants, among which are investors, business leaders, political leaders, economists, celebrities, and journalists, for up to 5 days to discuss global issues across 500 sessions. Also, when you're talking about the World Economic Forum and world leaders, they have let me see if it's at the very bottom of the main website, the young global leaders. With the alumni, with the young global leaders, Vladimir Putin was a young global leader. So was Justin Trudeau. There's a lot of interesting individuals that are involved with this non-governmental lobbying organization. See, a lot of people think that this is like an official governmental organization, but no, this is a private individual who decided to put this together with some of the wealthiest people, companies, and world leaders to shape their mission. In fact, when you think about it in that context, it's extremely scary to think about. I want to go ahead and go full screen here for a moment so everybody can see what's on the screen a little bit better. Again, I will come back at the end of the video and I will check everybody's comments out. I do appreciate you tuning in. I do thank you for joining me on today's stream, trying to keep this as fact-based as possible for these first few parts. And then later in the series, I will speculate because there is a lot to speculate on. But we got to first get our facts straight. We got to understand what we're dealing with. We got to understand what the World Economic Forum is and why the hell did this guy Klaus Schwab decide to form this. So the World Economic Forum is an international organization for public-private cooperation. The forum engages the foremost political, business, cultural, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas. Excuse me, I need to put my reading glasses on. It was established in 1971 as a not-for-profit foundation and is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. It is an independent, impartial, and not tied to any special interest. Now, I said I'm not going to try to speculate, but just that sentence, that part of that sentence, that is not tied to any special interests. It seems like these agendas are all about special interests, but that will be for a future episode. The forum strives in all its efforts to demonstrate entrepreneurship in the global public interest while upholding the highest standards of governance. Moral and intellectual integrity is at the heart of everything it does. Now, also, I want to mention, now this is not me speculating. I will speculate on this later in the series, but I find it quite interesting that Richard Nixon, when he was president of the United States on August the 15th in the year of 1971, the same year that the World Economic Forum was formed, that Nixon took the United States dollar off of the gold standard, ended the gold standard, and the dollar was no longer backed by gold or silver, and gave birth truly to the fiat money system. Fiat meaning by decree of the king, of the government, and our dollars are backed by the faith of the government or the guns of the military, or however you want to put it. But it's interesting. There's a little video that you can watch about their story. And I really, by providing these links and giving some basic information, I really would like you as the viewer to take time and do a deeper dive into this subject. And please comment on the videos if you want to add anything, or if you want me to talk about anything, or if there's something that I'm missing or something that you think I should bring more attention to. I definitely want to hear from you. So be sure to comment in the comments section below in the video. There's also a video here from founder Klaus Schwab on his reflections. And there is also an institutional brochure, a platform for impact. There's a lot of information here. Now, the next thing that I wanted to go ahead and share was, let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to go over on the Wikipedia page. The Wikipedia page, like I said, it does give the history, which is really interesting. Events in 1973. Now, this is the third meeting for the European Management Forum, because it hadn't yet changed its name, was including the collapse of the Bretton Woods fixed exchange rate mechanism and the Yom Kippur War, saw the annual meeting expand its focus from management to economic and social issues. And for the first time, political leaders were invited to the annual meeting in January of 1974. 1974 is also the year that I believe it was President Gerald Ford made it legal for U.S. citizens to own gold again. It was illegal from 1933 to 1974 for a U.S. citizen to own gold. A lot of people don't know that. Interesting. I was born in 1975, so world leaders were invited in 1974, just a year before I was born. In addition to the history, which gives a lot more detailed information and some of the things that the World Economic Forum has gotten involved in, which has a lot to do with politics. There's also organization information, board of trustees, membership with activities, the annual meeting in Davos, all the overview of past annual meetings, what the themes of each meeting was all about. The last meeting that would have taken place was canceled due to the pandemic. There's also individual participants, corporate participants, summer annual meeting, regional meetings, the young global leaders. This is the alumni that I was saying that, or of the young global leaders in the alumni, Putin and Trudeau were both part of this, as well as numerous other world leaders. Social entrepreneurs, research reports, initiatives dealing with health, society, environment. There's a lot of detailed information. Global future councils, global shapers community, the future of work, the Great Reset. In May of 2020, the World Economic Forum and the Prince of Wales Sustainable Markets Initiative launched a Great Reset project, a 5-point plan to enhance sustainability, economic growth following the global recession caused by the COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns. The Great Reset was to be the theme of World Economic Forum annual meeting in August of 2021. Now, obviously, the Great Reset, the verbiage has been utilized way before the pandemic and lockdowns, because there are articles from mainstream news from back in, I think, 2015, 2016, maybe even earlier. And a lot of these concepts come from a book that was written by Klaus Schwab, The Fourth Industrial Revolution. So, according to the forum's founder, Schwab, the intention of the project is to reconsider the meaning of capitalism and capital. While not abandoning capitalism, he proposes to change and possibly move on to some aspects of it, including neoliberalism and free market fundamentalism. The role of corporations, taxation, and more should be reconsidered. International cooperation and trade should be defended, and the fourth industrial revolution also. We'll be talking more about the fourth industrial revolution. There's been a lot of protest, a lot of negativity around the World Economic Forum and people's distrust towards their agendas, the growing gaps in the wealth, where we're seeing the decline of the middle class, the formation of the detached elite, where they're detaching themselves from the everyday normal slave, public costs and of security, gender debate. There's a lot of information just on the Wikipedia page. So, I mean, I'm not going to be able to go over all of it, but I definitely would encourage you to check it out. Now, also on the World Economic Forum website, there is a history section. So, if you would like to learn more about the history, they just celebrated their 50th anniversary last year. So, this is 51 years of the World Economic Forum, 51 years of Klaus Schwab and his non-governmental agency that is a lobbying organization that seems to have a lot of effect on shaping the world, which is very interesting considering these are just a bunch of rich people and a bunch of politicians. And it's interesting some of the celebrities that have attended. Let me see if that was on the World Economic Forum website where I saw, because I knew like Greta Thunberg and a couple other individuals have attended. Let's see here. It may be in another article. I've been reading so many different articles in regards to the World Economic Forum, but yeah, Greta Thunberg was somebody who's younger, who was involved, who's been invited to the WEF and the Davos meetings. So this gives a little bit more history in regards to what the World Economic Forum is. In 1987, the European Management Forum became the World Economic Forum and sought to broaden its vision to include providing a platform for dialogue. World Economic Forum annual meeting milestones during this time include the Davos Declaration signed in 1988 by Greece and Turkey, which saw them turn back from the brink of war, while in 1989, North and South Korea held their first ministerial level meetings in Davos. At the same meeting, East German Prime Minister Hans Madro and German Chancellor Helmut Kohl met to discuss German reunification. In 1992, South African President de Klerk met Nelson Mandela and Chief, not going to butcher this guy's name, at the annual meeting. Their first joint appearance outside of South Africa and a milestone in the country's political transition. Now, I'm not going to say that everything that the World Economic Forum has been involved in has been negative, because there's been a lot of good things that they have done. I mean, obviously, I just read a few of the things, being able to stop a situation on the brink of war, being able to reunify a country. These are beautiful things, especially when we see a lot of the turmoil happening in different nations. All right. So there's this article that you can check out for the history, and there's also the World Economic Forum at 50, a timeline of highlights from Davos and beyond. And this is from 2019. So this gives a little bit of history because, again, 2021 was going to be the 50-year anniversary of the World Economic Forum. 1971, the first Davos. Again, it started out as the European Management Forum. If you're just tuning in for this video is going to be done in series is going to be done in multiple parts. The next series, I will be talking about the Great Reset in more detail. I'm going to introduce the Great Reset here in just a little bit. There's a Davos Manifesto from 1973. And again, there's a lot of information regards to history. 1979, opening the door to China, because again, in 1974, they opened the door to political and world leaders. So you can go ahead and read a little bit more about the history and learn about some of the good the World Economic Forum has done. As we move on, the next topic we're going to talk about is leadership and governance. And this can be found at the very bottom of their website as well. The World Economic Forum is an international organization for private-public cooperation. And again, I will stress that it is an international, non-governmental, and lobbying organization. The forum is chaired by founder and executive chairman, Professor Klaus Schwab. It's guided by the board of trustees, exceptional individuals who act as guardians of its mission and values and oversee the forum's work in promoting true global citizenship. So, I mean, this would be working towards a global governance model. And I believe that they would like to see a global currency, which is also in prophecy. But you can find out information about this when you go, again, at the very top of their website. You can click on the digital economy, the financial and monetary systems, and blockchain, and get a little bit more of an idea about what they're doing, because they are very transparent about everything they're doing. You can read all this information. There's nothing that the World Economic Forum, there's nothing that Klaus Schwab is doing that is private. They're doing all this in the public to let everybody know what the hell's going on, and there is a lot going on. So people need to pay attention. People definitely need to pay attention. Make sure you're taking advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange. Get that free half ounce of silver, and be sure to sign up for my mailing list at ricetvx.com. And beware of them imposter accounts. Definitely beware. So the next thing I want to move on to, and this comes again straight from the World Economic Forum website. This is the Great Reset. There is an urgent need for global stakeholders to cooperate in simultaneously managing the direct consequences of the COVID-19 crisis to improve the state of the world. The World Economic Forum is starting the Great Reset Initiative. Okay. So, if you just scroll down, a lot of this information just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. And as I go into more detail in another video about the Great Reset, I will be talking more about where this started prior to the COVID-19 rhetoric, so people can definitely get a better understanding of that. See, there's just not a lot of information here. I did find a greatreset.com, but I do not think that has anything to do with the World Economic Forum. Oh, while I'm looking at the World Economic Forum website, something that I found to be, well, I'll wait till a future episode, because again, I'm trying my best to not speculate on anything in regards to what I'm talking about in these first couple parts. It says that this ended September 24th, 2022 or 2020, the SDI 2020-1, taking place in the context of the United Nations General Assembly, the World Economic Forum's fourth and for the first time, fully virtual, sustainable. Why just not pulling up? Fully virtual Sustainable Development Impact Summit will convene leaders from governments, businesses, international organizations, and civil society, along with a diverse group of experts and innovators to initiate, accelerate, and scale up entrepreneurial solutions to tackle climate change and advance sustainable development. So, yeah, it's like a 47-minute long meeting. The context, the banana crisis and the political, economic, and social disruptions that has caused is fundamentally changing the traditional context for decision making. The inconsistencies, inadequacies, and contradictions of multiple systems, from health and financial to energy and education, are more exposed than ever amidst the global context of concern for lives, livelihoods, and a planet. Leaders find themselves at the historic crossroads, managing short-term pressures against medium and long-term uncertainties. And they say you will own nothing and be happy. As we enter a unique window of opportunity to shape the recovery, this initiative will offer insights to help inform all those determining the future state of global relations, the direction of national economies and priorities of societies, the nature of business models, and the management of a global commons. Drawing from the vision and vast expertise of the leaders engaged across the forum's communities, the Great Reset Initiative has set up dimensions to build a new social construct that honors the dignity of every human being. Okay, so we look at everything that's happening around the world, all the turmoil, all the social unrest, all the political problems, the patriotism of nations dying, and this idea of a great reset. And a lot of this also will tie into economics. I talk a lot about this being the end of our financial system that we know, that we utilize. It's been a repeat of Rome. You can watch Mike Maloney's Hidden Secrets of Money series. I think it's part 9 and 10 that go over Rome and the comparisons of the United States, the debasement of money, and the fall of their system due to their economy. Now, when we talk about build a new social contract and shaping a new world, the only way that you could do that, the only way you could have a great reset is for something to come to an end. And it seems like we are kind of at the end of the road on a lot of different things. And we have this argument, people talking about the Great Reset versus the Great Awakening. And we have an opportunity to shape this, because I always say that when enough people take a stand, nothing can stand against the people. And it's time for us to take a stand. Because if we don't take a stand, then people like Klaus Schwab and organizations like the World Economic Forum, the International Monetary Fund, the United Nations, they will shape this world. But we had the opportunity to make change. We have the power to make change individually, and we have the power to make change collectively. Individually, it doesn't matter how big or small that impact of change is. But collectively, there's nothing that we cannot change. And I will stress and repeat that when enough people take a stand, nothing can stand against the people. We are at the end of a cycle. We are at the end of governance models as we know it. We are at the end of the economy as we know it, as our financial institutions as we know it, as our monetary systems as we know it. We're at the end of a lot of different things. So it's time to shape the future. Are we going to shape the future, the people? Or are we going to let the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, the United Nations, IMF, and all these other entities shape our world into what they want it to be? Now, cannot continue speculating, because speculation is for future parts. Their contribution, the World Economic Forum has developed a reputation as a trusted platform for informed collaboration and cooperation between all stakeholders. Stakeholders. So there are people who hold stake in this organization. Reinforced by a track record of success over 5 decades. The forum now offers its experience in building purpose-driven communities in service of the extraordinary challenge and opportunity the world faces for a great reset. The forum provides an unparalleled platform for creating, shaping, and delivering collaborative solutions for the future through its status as the International Organization for Private-Public Cooperation, a hub for cutting-edge ideas and expertise and knowledge resource tools, leadership in enabling stakeholder capitalism and delivering solutions to global challenges, authority in shaping and leveraging the fourth industrial revolution. So, the next thing I wanted to share is an article. Now it's time for a great reset. And this comes from the World Economic Forum's website. It goes into more detail. There are many reasons to pursue a great reset, but the most urgent It's Banana 19. Even though I'm reading stuff from World Economic Forum, I would not put it against YouTube for trying to give me a strike for saying certain words and certain verbiage. There is good reason to worry. A sharp economic downturn has already begun. I've already mentioned that several times, and that begun way before 2020. And we could be facing the worst depression since the 1930s, and it's actually going to be worse. But while this outcome is likely, it's not unavoidable. To achieve a better outcome, the world must act jointly and swiftly to revamp all aspects of our societies and economies, from education to social contracts and working conditions. Every country from the United States to China must participate, and every industry, from oil and gas to tech, must be transformed. In short, we need a great reset of capitalism. Which is more of just divide between those who have money and those who don't. There's a lot more information you can read in here. Risk outlooks from Bananas 19. Some of this is outdated because they're using the Bananas 19 information to push this agenda, even though it existed prior to the Bananas 19, which is very interesting. And now they're actually moving on to something that they call the Great Narrative. There's also the Global Governance Project.org, and this is a part of the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab is a part of this. As you can see, this is from October 12th, 2020. Seizing the moment. Never let a good crisis go to waste. You know, it's ironic that a lot of our economic problems were being blamed on Bananas 19 and the pandemic when obviously we were having issues before that, since 2008 for sure. And then most recently with the attacks with Russia and the Ukraine, how I can already see the mainstream news, the Ministry of Propaganda, trying to push this narrative that all of our inflationary problems are because of Russia and Ukraine. Now, there was announcements a few weeks ago that there was a possible imminent attack, that we were on the brink of war. A few weeks ago. We just had an attack within the past 24 hours. So, how can you blame inflationary issues that have been taking place all through 2020 and 2021 on a conflict in Europe that just started a few weeks ago? Officially. I mean, technically, it's been ongoing since the USSR has been disbanded, and Putin seems to be trying to put the band back together, per se. But seize the moment. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Klaus Schwab founded the World Economic Forum in 1971 as a non-for-profit foundation and built it into the foremost international institution for private-public cooperation. In 1998, he and his wife, Hildy, founded the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship, supporting social innovation around the world. In 2004, he founded the Forum of Young Global Leaders, and then in 2011, the Global Shapers Community. An engineer and economist by training, he was a professor of business policy at the University of Geneva from 1972 to 2003. Now, what's really interesting about just reading this is founding these foundations, social entrepreneurship, founding the Young Global Leaders, the Global Shapers community, and these would be the individuals that would be able to steer the world in a particular direction. So it's really interesting how Klaus Schwab has been able to converse, bring together all these world leaders, and get them to, in a sense, work towards this common goal and agenda. This great reset, where you will own nothing and you will be happy. A digital currency at CBDC will be the end of freedom as we know it. You will not have any privacy. It'll be all about tracking and tracing. Digital ID. I mean, we see where the restrictions of not having banana papers and how it could restrict you from being able to attend events, go into cities, go into countries. It's very interesting. So when you combine that with the digital ID, now the next thing is Klaus Schwab releases The Great Narrative as a sequel to The Great Reset. And we will be talking about The Great Narrative in a future episode in this series. This is not going to be something I'm going to be dragging out for a long period of time. I should have this series wrapped up at the most in a week and a half. I may be doing another part on Saturday. If I don't do another part this coming Saturday, I will be doing one early next week. I may do two next week because, again, this is going to be done in multiple parts. Today, we were explaining what the World Economic Forum is. And the next part, going to be going into a little bit more information about the Great Reset. I'm going to be also explaining who Klaus Schwab is. We're going to get into the Great Narrative. And then on a future last episode, we will be doing some speculation. So the Great Narrative for a Better Future. And it's interesting how all of these agendas are all about shaping a future that allows for more control for governments and the lack of privacy for an individual. And then you got to add in the whole you will own nothing and be happy. And they've been very, very vocal about that slogan, which has been utilized for quite some time. Now, I will be going in more detail on the next episode that I do in the series about this book, Banana 19, The Great Reset by Klaus Schwab and Thierry Malaret. And this is put out in 2020. It gives a little introduction, little information about the authors, and then we got the table of contents. It's 110 pages. I know it's going to be an extremely exciting read. I'm not going to be reading the entirety of it when I do the stream, but I will be sharing some information from the Banana 19 Great Reset book by both of these guys, including Mr. Klaus Schwab. So again, I really wanted to keep this episode as factual as possible to try to really explain what the World Economic Forum is from a non-biased point of view as much as possible, even though I was adding in lots of rhetoric, lots of my own spin on this. So if you are enjoying videos like this, please smash that like button, as it does help other people to find these kind of videos. If you're not subscribed, I would definitely encourage you to make sure that you're subscribed and make sure you're turning on those notification bells. Like there's more than one. I am so losing my voice. I've been on the phone all day, done a couple interviews, one of which is on my Patreon channel. Always trying to put up as much early access on Patreon, so be sure to check that out. All right, so real quick, I want to go ahead and see what everybody has to say. Go look at the comments section. Somebody did mention Free Dom said that Clint from Red Pill Sunday School, who I have texted recently and I'm trying to get back on the show, has a video talking about the Great Reset. And when you say that it's all about what is really going on in regards to the Great Reset, I would say that would be more based on speculation. And that's where I wanted to try to keep this first part of what the World Economic Forum was as unbiased as possible. Anybody who works with the World Economic Forum should be prevented from working in government. Yeah, no, I agree. Unfortunately, there's a lot of government leaders that are a part of the World Economic Forum, and I appreciate you tuning in, Life Size Box, and we will be talking here soon. Mr. X Les Charion, appreciate Johnny Midas, Christina Matthews, thanks for joining. Glad you got to catch a live stream. Miss Andy Lee, thank you for joining. I always appreciate you being in the live chats. Les Jaggard, good day, guys. Finally, the Rice live sitting is in for completely raining cats and dogs out here. Couldn't be better. Yes, it's raining out my way here in North Carolina as well. Yeah, 33 watching. What's up with that? It's called shadow banning and censorship. YouTube does not like Rice TVX, but we're still here. Still here. So I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Yes, this is live. It totally is live. I just, again, was going to wait till the end of the video to come look at the comment section. TPA, The Public Awakening, glad you made it. Good seeing you, my friend. We definitely need to talk soon. I do appreciate you tuning in, Les, again. Fringe Recall, the ruling class are sociopaths and psychopaths. They're not the elite. They're pieces of crap. I like that statement. Leonardo DiCaprio. Should it be DiCaprio? Ron, appreciate you tuning in, my friend. The Great Awakening. Yes, the Great Awakening versus the Great Reset. If you want to look at it as light versus darkness, that's all I'll say, because, again, I'm not trying to speculate. Yeah, I don't know about a hoax, but making a mountain out to be a molehill out to make a mountain out to be a molehill out to be a mountain. I don't know why I couldn't figure that out. Appreciate you tuning in, Brando. Yeah, he's an interesting fella, but I appreciate you tuning in. JVF Mastering, good seeing you again. Venom Splat. Reset is over. Too many people are awake finally. Yeah, now there are a lot of people awake, but I still feel like there's more in control for this great reset agenda. Future without coercion. Greetings to you for your honor. For your honor. I get it now. For your honor. Awesome name. Awesome name. KC says a future with a very limited government that only maintains roads and provides a common law court and not government at all. Wouldn't that be great? A future where the NAP is the law of the land. NAP is the law of the land. Melinda Tanner, I appreciate you tuning in. Initial remedy is within for change to occur collectively. Every woman and man and needs to comprehend that life interactions with authority, corporate government is done by consent contracting. Say no. Just say no. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Just say no. Let's see here. KC, the future of decentralization of power. Bobby Steels in 1825, they crashed stock market down 90 to 95%. The Rothschilds bought it up at pennies on the dollar, and Jesuits got control of political power. There's been a lot of manipulation that's taken place, and the Rothschilds have definitely been on the right side of every single one of those negative interactions. They've been very smart about what they've been doing. But I would love to see an end to this financial system, to this debt-based system, to this fractional reserve banking, and get back to some sound money and stop this manipulation. We are at the end of the fiat cycle, 100%, and a great reset could come about, or we could have a great awakening. Again, when enough people take a stand, nothing can stand against the people. A future with competing currencies. Well, if we have a one world currency, we really won't have competing currencies. So just my opinion on that. Openly wondering how Klaus Schwab is feeling about Putin destroying all the globalist bioweapon labs in Ukraine today. This has been confirmed. Yes, now, from what I understand in regards to that, it wasn't globalist. I would say that they were United States. I believe they were United States labs that were bombed in a lot of those regions. I will be trying to do a video on the Russia-Ukraine situation. Everything is so fresh. I have not had a chance to deep dive into all the situation and try to be able to bring some information to the viewers. I am planning on doing that, and that may be taking place this weekend. So just stay tuned for that. Gold back. I'm not sure if we're talking about a gold back currency, if you're actually talking about the physical gold backs, but either way, I would love it. Yeah, that is possible to think about. I'm not going to say that statement is not a false statement. JP Morgan and the Federal Reserve's only wealthy competitors, about 5 people that would have been able to prevent the Federal Reserve, were all aboard the Titanic. Yes, that is very interesting as well. Schwab is Kissinger's biatch. Jen Dude, their work for the same POB is so obvious, white or black. I'm not really 100% sure what you mean by that, JVF, but I do, again, appreciate you commenting. C-Mass, appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much. More people are awake, but not taking action. Say no, Melinda Tanner. Well, if you look at what's been taking place all around the world, Hong Kong, France with the Yellow Vest movement, Canada, the Freedom Convoy, all the protests in Australia, the situations here in the United States, it definitely appears that people are waking up. It definitely seems like more people are taking action. And if you compare today to a year ago, we've definitely been waking up a lot of people. A lot more people are becoming aware to this situation at hand that we're dealing with. If you just look at the beginning of 2021 compared to the beginning of 2022, a lot of people started shifting the way that they started thinking, getting away from this mainstream narrative, from the Ministry of Propaganda, their spieling, their propaganda. People have been getting away from it, in my opinion. So it's a beautiful thing to see. I do want to let people know I'm going to be going live tomorrow on the 25th of February at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on BitBoy Cryptos Around the Blockchain. I'm generally on every Friday, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time around the blockchain on BitBoy Crypto. 7 o'clock p.m. tomorrow, Friday the 25th on Rice TVX and Rice TVX2. Going to be doing Crypto Rewind with my co-host Satoshi Sean as we cover the last week in crypto. And I'm also going to be going live on Sunday with Ethan Lucas for the Spirituality of Law, What They Don't Want You to Know, episode number 20. Number 20. That's going to be on Sunday, the 27th. So be sure to tune in. It's going to kind of give everybody an update on what's going on in the next few days. KC says there's the main narrative, and then there's a bunch of competing alternate narratives. What's the real reason for the military operation? And again, that's something I want to look more into as I cover that. Taiwan is an interesting scenario going on right now as well. Who's behind the USC Hebrew? Are you talking about my drink? Yeah. I've heard it's got a 666 in here, but yeah. Non-compliance is action. Okay. Well, something is nothing and nothing is something. Before the lockdown, 24 countries had protests against their central banks. Yes, there's a lot of we're on the brink of an economic collapse, a crash, and instead of just letting that happen, there's going to be things that's going to be done to try to make sure that they can lead things into the direction that they want to lead things into. And having situations like Bananas 19 allowed for that. I've seen evidence that suggests our bodies will data mine cryptocurrency via nanotech and chips. Some people's TVs are already asking if they want to connect via Bluetooth. I haven't heard about that with the TV thing, but now I believe it was Microsoft put out a patent, and in the patent, it's like 060606 in a patent number or something like that. And it has to do with using the human body in some capacity to mine cryptocurrencies. Yes, there is talk about that. But does that make all cryptocurrencies bad? Or does that make Bitcoin bad or decentralized cryptocurrencies bad? These technologies are tools, just like a gun is a tool. Is a gun bad? So it depends on who's utilizing these technologies and what these technologies are being built for. So as long as we have good people building technologies that are going to benefit we the people, then that's exactly what it's going to be. But if all these technologies are benefiting the powers that be, then it's obviously not going to be benefiting we the people. Les says Ukraine mostly unvaxxed should be good for their boys. And Jonah Curry, dude, there was no contagion or isolated deadly iris. Banana is a flu. Banana 19 means certification of Vax ID. 1 + 9 = 10 binary numbers. AI. It's a Trojan horse to usher in a new world order. Now, I've heard some of these things. I have. But I can't say 100% what you're saying is true. certification of banana, but this would be a banana with the 1-9. The 1-9 would also be the year. Lots of speculation. It's really interesting to think about. Let me go ahead and see what everybody else is saying. Appreciate that. Yeah, Ethan Lucas is good people. Yeah, but I'm still not seeing. I mean, I've heard this from a lot of people. I'm still not seeing a 666 in this. I see that more inside of the logo for this. If you look at that little circle that goes through the O's in the World Economic Forum, they look like they formed that. I don't drink Monster very often. I haven't had a chance to go out to a convenience store or a grocery store in a week, and I ordered this from GoPuff. I needed some caffeine, so it is what it is. But I definitely don't support the devil, and I'm not down with the devil. Singularity Crypto is run by Sophia the AI. Bobby, yes, but Sophia is not as sophisticated as you think. I've actually been in company with people who've been around Sophia. I've talked with people who work for artificial general intelligence, and Sophia isn't as complex as they're making her out to be. She's very much programmed. People type in a lot of her responses as she's talking. She was in Miami the end of November, beginning of December for Decentral conference. I wasn't able to or didn't know about her being there until after she was done. One of the problems too that they were having was limited internet. So with limited internet, they weren't able to connect Sophia up to the internet quite the way that they wanted to either. So she wasn't able to function completely. Now, I'm not saying AI has not developed to the point that it could be a threat, but it's not Sophia. Melissa Mouse, good seeing you. Hello. We're about to wrap up today's stream, but I do appreciate you tuning in. I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. Andy Lisa's side note, your content on Hedge has been beneficial. Thank you. Another step closer to exiting. Thank you, Andy Lee. I appreciate that. And she's talking about Hedge, gethedge.io. You can search in my videos for Hedge, Hedge. I did an interview with the founder, David Schwartz, who's also with the Litecoin Foundation. It allows you to take a percentage or all of your money from paychecks or direct deposits and convert them into cryptocurrencies. And let me see here if there's anything else. Otherwise, I'm going to be bouncing out. I do appreciate you guys tuning in because the stream went a lot longer than I thought I was going to do, which normally takes place. Yeah, it's interesting. Mr. X, do you think we'll see the alien agenda this year? Will Homer Simpson pull off political mass like in the show? It'll be interesting to I've said this a lot of times. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised by anything. And I think most people would agree with that. Cuomo's nipple ring, nice. Okay. This doesn't have as much caffeine as a coffee, but I'm being way too defensive about this Monster can, so I'm just gonna shut up. Thank you, Melissa. I do appreciate. I was trying to keep today's video as factual as possible, doing an introduction and explaining what the World Economic Forum is from as much of an unbiased perspective as I could, while letting people know what future episodes I'm going to be doing in this multi-part series and what I'm going to be covering next and more in the future. So I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, make sure you smash that like button because it really does help other people to be able to find these kind of videos in the YouTube algorithm flow. Make sure that you're subscribed to Rice TVX and Rice TVX2. Make sure you sign up for my mailing list over on ricetvx.com. And I'm also on BitChute at ricetvx.com. I really don't have very many followers on BitChute. Seems like a lot of people have been requesting that I go to BitChute. And I've got 433 subscribers. So if we could change that, That would be great. 433 subscribers on BitChute. And then Rice TVX2 has 1,641 subscribers. I have over 25,000 subscribers on Rice TVX, which I cannot thank all the subscribers enough for subscribing and getting me over 25,000 subscribers finally with all the censorship and shadow banning. But I would love to get the numbers up for Rice TVX2. And I would love to get the numbers up for BitChute. Okay? Okay? Okay now. Okay, so please. It would mean a lot to me. It would mean a very lot to me. So, go to ricetvx.com, sign up for the mailing list so you don't miss any updates or new Rice TVX content. Once you do that, you'll see all my social media sites. Okay? Okay. We have Rice TVX. Make sure you subscribe. Okay? Now. Then we have Rice TVX 2. 1.641 subscribers. Let's get those numbers up. Let's get Rice TVX 2 up, because in case something happens to Rice TVX, we still have Rice TVX 2. So I should have the same number of subscribers as I have on Rice TVX as I have on Rice TVX 2 on YouTube. There's no reason why I should have 22,500 less subscribers on my backup channel when it may be my only channel. So please go to Rice TVX 2 and subscribe. Also, if you're not following me on Odyssey and Library, I have all of my videos. I've deleted my full catalog of videos. Oh, no, I haven't deleted it. I've deleted more than half of my content from YouTube. All of my videos are on Odyssey and Library. 100%. That's the only place you're going to find all my videos. Odyssey and Library. Only place, all Rice TVX videos. From the very first video that I made, January 2018, to this video and everything on. Okay? That's where that's at. Okay. Okay. And then we have BitChute. BitChute. 433 subscribers over there. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead really quickly and refresh this and hope we got at least 2 more for the people watching this. No. So nobody else has went and subscribed to BitChute since I've been complaining about having a low number of subscribers on BitChute. Now, ultimately, I want to be putting my content on more platforms. But if I'm not getting followers on these platforms, there's not really a point in me continuing to post on these platforms. Okay? Okay. So you need to take this in consideration. Okay? I need you to make sure you subscribe to Rice TVX, Rice TVX 2. Follow me on Odyssey and Library, where I have all of my videos and post up extra content. Go over and follow me on BitChute. I will be adding more channels in the future, more platforms. And if you want to support me directly and get early access to videos and some of my exclusive content, check out my Patreon. Okay? Okay. Well, I do appreciate you tuning in. You go over there, Andy, and I would greatly appreciate that. Bobby Steele, I appreciate you getting me. Yes, I did have less than 2,000 subscribers. You're right. There was a time period when I had 1. And I appreciate the congratulations on over 25,000, because I have worked my ass off fighting like a salmon, swimming up the stream against the censorship and shadow banning. Still here. Still here. It's beautiful, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in. They're down in the video description. But if you go to BitChute, just type in Rice TVX. I'm Rice TVX everywhere except for on Odyssey and Library, where it's Rice Crypto, because I can't change my username on that platform. But it says Rice TVX when you go to the actual pages. But in order to find me, you'd have to look under Rice Crypto. I love you, TPA, Jason, my brother. Definitely get in touch with me soon. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much. Please make sure that you follow me on all the places I asked nicely. It'd be greatly appreciated. So stay tuned for more videos. Again, I'll be going live tomorrow, Friday, the 25th of February, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on BitBoy Cryptos Around the Blockchain. Going live tomorrow, Friday, the 25th of February at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on Rice TVX with co-host Satoshi Sean for Crypto Rewind. There will be a video or 2 coming out on Saturday. and Sunday going live for episode number 20 with Ethan Lucas, the spirituality of law, what they don't want you to know. Much love. Be blessed. Be the change. Practice change.